Hi. So, this is an impromptu episode, and by impromptu, I mean not that I haven't prepared for it, but that I've over prepared for it and now decided to ditch the script and exactly what I wanted to cover. Today's episode is a little bit of an announcement I want to make and a little bit of news I want to share. But instead of going about it in a cringy way and actually talking about something that feels meaningful and genuine and then talking about what I actually want to share with you, I've decided to do it a little differently. Now, you may realize if you're watching on YouTube, which you absolutely don't have to, actually, I probably prefer if you're just listening into this because I'm still hugely uncomfortable in this setup. But it's a slightly different setup than usual. I'm in my living room. It's turned into a full-blown studio. I've invested in what I'm hoping is a really good light. I have my mic here. I have, clothes on. Yeah. And I've been working on a project over the past, I want to say years because it's years in the making, but very intensively over the past couple of months and weeks. And over the past few days, I've been filming here in my living room after work on the weekends for something that is really, really important for me. And it's a tool for introverts. And it's all about self-expression and making your quiet the sharpest thing about you. Because you know how we always talk about, as introverts, we tend to hide our quiet. We tend to hide our introspective personality. We try to hide everything that makes us really, really special. And I want to give you a tool that helps you not do that anymore. And it helps you with expressing yourself in a way that feels really powerful for you. Now, I know from being an introvert and being quiet, I know that it can feel really hard to articulate who you are, where you are headed, and what you bring. And these three elements, they are really, really important for you to position yourself and for you to give people an understanding for the kind of opportunities you want, what you bring to the table in terms of what is it that you're really, really good at, what do you enjoy doing, what is it that you do differently than everyone else, and how has your experience, your story, the kind of things that have shaped you into who you are today, how does that make you someone that's going to do the job so much differently than everyone else? These are kind of the things that often live inside ourselves. And I often refer to that as an introvert's rich inner world. It's like all the thoughts that we have, all that brilliance, all that quietly powerful stuff. But when we try to say it out loud, it doesn't come out the right way. It often feels like when we try to speak things into existence, the brilliance gets lost along the way, kind of gets watered down. And that happens to me quite a lot. Part of this is practicing. Part of this is showing up regardless, pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones just enough to build the muscle and to practice over time, because self-expression absolutely is a skill that we can learn. And we have so much evidence for that on the podcast. Honestly, I'm so grateful that I've had brilliant guests on the podcast who've talked about this. We've had Heather Morrison come on. She's a public speaking coach. We've had Matt Abrahams, a professor at Stanford, who talked about impromptu speaking. We've had Mariam Pasha on the podcast, who is a TEDx curator and who actually told us that behind every brilliant TEDx performance is a lot of prep, is a lot of scrutiny, and that there's a lot that goes into the content and then into the delivery of the content. So every time we see someone perform eloquently or articulate themselves really, really well, most of the time it's just practiced really, really well. Now, I always felt, as an introvert in the workplace, I always felt extremely strong at writing things down, at communicating in written language. I feel like when I get to write things down and then tweak them and then change them again and then run them through ChatGPT, by the time I'm done, I feel like I can put something out there that is exactly what I want to say, and it actually lands in a way that reflects what I meant. Unfortunately, that doesn't always happen in our careers, because what we keep inside, this who we are, where we're headed, and what we bring to the table, what we're really good at, it stays hidden inside of us because we lack the tools and the communication to articulate it, to say it out loud, to weave it into conversation, to let our managers know, to let our senior stakeholders at work know. And so it gets lost. And it's the reason why we're often overlooked, underestimated, and not really given the opportunities that we deserve. And this is why I feel so strongly about helping introverts express themselves, and helping quieter people, or just people who don't really express themselves, who don't really share their wins at work, who don't really share what they want to do and the kind of support they need and what that really looks like. All that beautiful stuff. And what I've been building is honestly something that I've scrutinized to the final bit. So there's been so many versions of this. At the end of the day, what this is a self-paced course experience, but that is just a lame way of saying it. What I call it is a self-expression studio. It's a space that helps you, first and foremost, find out everything about yourself that is really, really important to position yourself in the workplace. And that is who you are, where you're headed, what you bring to the table, all those elements, all the content that is actually needed for you to position yourself, and that other people need to know about you in order to know how to help you, how to support you, but also to give them the language to talk about you in a way that allows your reputation to travel, and that allows for word of mouth in a way that you don't have to sell yourself in every single space at work, in every single room, but things start to happen organically. So it's first and foremost about that, building the content, but then also about building the language to articulate that and finding the right words to bring that to life for you. A self-expression studio to make your quiet the sharpest thing about you, and to make it something that stands out about you, something that gives you flavor, something that is your secret sauce, something that you can do in a way that no one else at work does. And I think I'm almost done. So this is a little bit of I wouldn't call it a premature announcement, because I'm 80% there. There's some final tweaks that I'm making to this experience. But it really is something unlike anything else that I've seen in this space. It is not a traditional course. It is not modules on modules. I have really stripped this back to the core things that I think you'll need in order to bring this to life. I have done this with one-to-one clients in the past. I know it works, but I've really stripped it down to the essentials of what I think is needed for you to get something out of it and for it to actually be useful. You know how some courses sometimes tend to blow things up with lots and lots of modules, lots and lots of videos. I promise you, I am not rambling like this in the videos I've just recorded. They are a lot sharper, a lot more polished. But this is what I've created. It lives in a beautiful, I'm actually proud of this one. It lives in a beautiful Notion workspace. It is lean, it is minimal, it's aesthetic. It's not really a course, it's more of a capsule experience. I have taken a lot of inspiration from the world of fashion, so this is my first little drop of an experience that helps you self-express yourself in the workplace. Get the words out, get word out about who you are, where you're headed, and what you bring to the table in a way that feels genuine to you, in a way that doesn't feel salesy or icky or performative. this is really something that I believe is going to change the game for introverts in the workplace. It's certainly something that I would love to have had way earlier in my career. I use these things myself. I've worked with clients who use this years after I've worked this out with them. And it's something I'm genuinely 100% behind. And I hope this doesn't feel like a sales pitch, or I hope it doesn't feel like some icky announcement, which I didn't want it to be. I mean, how genuine can it get with a big light in your face? But this is what I've been doing. And if you build things behind the scenes as an introvert, and you will be able to relate with this, what can easily happen is for you to continue tweaking and to continue working on it until it is, final, and perfect. And this is where I started to be a little scared that if I don't say this out loud, and if I don't put this on the podcast, if I don't announce this, if I don't say to somebody that this is what I'm doing, I might never stop tweaking and it might never see the light of day. So this is me pushing myself, nudging myself out of my little bubble and comfort zone and bringing this into the world, because it's almost ready. It's almost there. I am really proud of it. I don't say that lightly. I don't say that often, but I'm really proud of it. And I can't wait for you to see it. I can't wait for you to experience it. It's called Quiet Flex, by the way. And if you want to get more information on where you can find it, when it drops, and what's actually inside, you can go into the show notes. I'll put a link for you there where you can, access the early access list. And it's become cringy after all. Thank you for tuning in this week, and I'll see you next week.